And this is Pedro Reyes. I'm right here on Setting the Standard. Once again, thank you for listening on Kpfa 94.1. Tonight we got very special guests in the house. We got La Misa Negra from the Bay Area right here cruising through, and they're going to be telling us a little bit about who they are, what they've been doing, and a little bit about what they're going to be doing as well. So, welcome to the show. Tell us your name and what part of the band you play.
My name is Marco Polo Santiago. I play accordion and guitar.
My name is Diana Trujillo. I play vocals in Guacharaca.
I'm Charles Granich, and I play clarinet and tenor sax. And behind me,
I am Justin El Chino Sonidero. I play the tenor saxophone.
Right on. And so tell us a little bit about how La Misa Negra came together and at the same time where the name comes from. Misa Negra, La Misa Negra.
I guess I'll start with the name first. I'm a big metalhead and I love Black Sabbath, pretty much, and bands like Brujeria. So I wanted a name that was like equally cool. Like a lot of the old Latin bands, traditional bands, like they're just named after the band leader. Like such and such his name, his orquesta, whatever. And I just think that's pretty boring. And so I wanted something that was like a little more, had more of a like rock edge. You know what I mean? But the meaning, what La Misa Negra means to us, it's we're just embracing the Afro-Colombian roots of cumbia, and we play cumbia, we play Afro-Colombian music, and it all stems from Africa, like a lot of the Caribbean genres, and so I wanted a name that instantly kind of conjured up an image of blackness. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted something with negra or negro in the name. And then in terms of misa, like in Santeria, a misa to them isn't going to church. It's through song and percussion, connecting with your ancestors, and it's part of their ritual. So there's a music component to what they do, and so for us, we're kind of like trying to somehow adopt that. A misa is la rumba, la cumbia. When people come to La Misa Negra show, they don't just come to watch a show. They come to be a part of La Misa Negra. You know what I mean? And so that's what La Misa Negra means.
And how did you form the band La Misa Negra?
Different ways. Some of the guys in the band we met through Craigslist, through an ad I put on Craigslist, and then Facebook. Over time, as we started playing, we started meeting different people, and then they would recommend different musicians. So that was another way that some of the guys came through the band. But for Charles in particular, he lives in my same neighborhood, and I was walking on Grand one day near Lake Merritt, which is where we live, and he was playing the saxophone.
it's my practice spot.
That's like his regular routine. And so I walked by him, and he was great, and I went and talked to him, and then he ended up in the band. I think a week later, right? Like a week and a half later, he was already playing his first gig with us. So it was pretty, different. People came to the band different ways.
Right on. And so tell us a little bit about the vocalist. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved in the band in that sense of, keeping your tradition of Colombian roots, I think it is, right? And so how you keep that music going as well from our ancestors, right? Because, cumbia and the styles that Marco just mentioned are all old school, So it's interesting that you guys are still interested in that style of music and creating that style of music as well, so that it keeps going on to the next generation.
Yeah, so I joined the band last year, and for me, is the best thing ever to to play something that I love. And cumbia is something that my family always listen to it, especially in December. I always tell Marco, "Oh, this is like living on a party all the time for me when I listen cumbia." And it's just when I start playing, is like something spiritual came to me. I don't know if it's just on my blood. The cumbia, it makes me move, makes me be crazy on stage, and I'm happy of doing this and being part of this project.
Cool. And so tell us a little bit about how you reach for those ancestral roots, man. And that sense of the music, right? You're telling us that this music has different styles of roots, and then that it connects to the traditions of Afro, raza, basically, right?
Yeah, it's I'm not Colombian. The music we play is Colombian. I'm Mexican, but I love a lot of types of music and old music in particular, and from Latin jazz to son jarocho to everything, and in the Caribbean, there's a lot of really great types of music that have come out of there, and for me, it's just a matter of there's different types of cumbia, and it's changed over the years. For me, it's just kind of like going back to the source. Going back to like the original way that it was done, and kind of trying to bring that back. To for younger generations or even older people who haven't heard it in a long time. And it's just about going back to the source and embracing that sound and trying to put our own little twist on it, and that's it. I mean, we're not really trying to change it up a whole lot. Trying to mix it with other genres. Really, we do our own little thing. With certain songs and stuff, but we're trying to keep it as authentic and raw as possible.
Well, there's one part in selecting it. Like when you're looking at covers, we're playing things that are in minor keys. That's kind of like the unwritten rule of like everything is kind of dark sounding minor. And sometimes when I'm practicing outside, people come up and say, "Hey, what's that klezmer stuff you're playing?" Because it's got that same notes, right? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, someone just told me that yesterday. I was on the street practicing.
And it's interesting because are you from Asian roots? Is that
Yeah.
Asian descent, right?
No,
So-
Asian and Eastern European also. So yeah.
And then how do you feel about the music you're creating too, as well, from that perspective?
Well, I really do feel like the Eastern European stuff in it, and I keep thinking to myself, wow, okay, who went to Colombia, and like, is that influence there somehow? And I've got to do my research sometime and find out if that's there, but I'm kind of hoping that it is.
That's right. I heard that in Germany they have the polka with the what do you call them, the accordions, right?
Yeah.
Accordion
Yeah.
festivals, right? And you use also accordions in your band as well, right?
Yeah,
Accordion is the most important part of cumbia, especially in Colombia too.
in roots cumbia, because then it became like the big band cumbia with the horn sections and stuff. But according to myth, a German ship carrying like a bunch of accordions like got shipwrecked or something, and then like a bunch of accordions ended up on the shore, and that's how the accordion like ended up with accordion in cumbia.
Really?
That's
I
like
love it.
that's a myth. You can even Wikipedia that thing. I think. Yeah,
Right on, right on.
you know
And
I don't know what the truth is, but that's the story.
Word, and we're talking to La Misa Negra right here with us on Setting the Standard. So tell us a little bit about who you've been jamming out with and for how long.
We've been playing for about a year and a half, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
January 2012. And with this group of people, our third gig was with Celso Pena. So we've been like pretty quickly trying to, get as far as we can. We pretty much immediately started playing in Los Angeles too. That's our second outside of the Bay. That's where we play the most. LA. There's such a good scene there, and people are hungry for this kind of music right now. So we've had the opportunity to play with bands like Jarabe de Palo, Nortec, Chico Trujillo, Very Be Careful, Breakestra, B-side players,
Sergeant Garcia.
Sergeant Garcia, yeah, Celso Pena. You know what I mean? So we've been trying to move it along as quickly as we can.
And it's interesting because you have this talent on stage as well. So it's really like, I wouldn't be amazed if you're already out there performing with these big names as well too. So congratulations to that. And now you have an album coming up, right? You have a CD that you're going to be releasing pretty soon. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, this is our first album. It's called
Yeah.
our first album is it's called Misa de Medianoche, and it's gonna come out in August. It's already recorded. Right now, we're just trying to get the money together to mix and master it. Um, and yeah, it's kind of like I think it captures our first year and a half together as a band. You know, it includes some of the like old covers that we've kind of turned into La Misa Negra hits, you know, if you will, and then and some originals that we wrote ourselves and stuff, and trying to stay, you know, within that old sound, that old feel, but at the same time offer like some variety. You know, there's the really fast, crazy
Yeah,
stuff that we do, and
yeah.
then there's like the really smooth, nice cumbia stuff, you know, and everything in between. And so we're really happy with it, I think, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, we've been listening to. I mean, we've been working on this album pretty much all year, and beginning in November. You know, so but yeah, it's almost done. Right now, we're just starting the mixing process, but it's expensive, and so we just launched a Kickstarter campaign to try to help us get money for that.
And where can folks go to support the work that you're doing, the art that you're putting together for the community?
If you just go to lamisanegra.com or even on our Facebook page, if you just search for La Misa Negra, it'll you'll instantly be it'll be obvious where you can go. We have a video. You can learn more about the band with the video, and yeah, I mean if you we have different rewards that we're offering, but the most basic one is $10. You get the album ahead of time before everybody else gets it, and you're helping us finish the album.
That's right, man. I've been waiting for a year or so myself, because I invited you a while back when you invited me to interview La Chamba. And, I thought you were kidding, man. I thought you were lying, dude, because I'm like, come on, bro, you guys are good already. You got it down. Let's do an interview, man. What's up? And I'm glad it's happening now as well. So thanks a lot for cruising by on setting the standard and, dropping the album right here. Tell us what can people expect out of the album as well.
More than, I mean, and I just told them that I feel the show is better, and when you listen to songs, it gives you a lot of energy, but then when you see us on the stage, it's crazy. It's something that you won't forget.
That's right, and always the show is always a good show. You have two vocalists, right, at the shows most of the time.
Yeah, yeah.
What's her name, and
Sadai Cordova, also Colombiana.
who else is missing from the band today?
We're missing our bass player who plays upright bass, Sean Wergowski. Aaron Kerbel, Chicharron, is our drummer. And Craig Miller, percussionist and drums.
That's
Yeah.
right. So you're literally running a campaign to support the art that you're doing to be able to mix master and put it out, right?
Yeah.
So once again, where can they do that? Where can they support you?
Lamisanegra.com. So it's very phonetic. If you don't speak Spanish, it's LAMISANEGRA.com. And again on Facebook, just search for La Misa Negra. You can even Google us.
Google it.
It'll be pretty obvious. Yeah, yeah. Or on Kickstarter, if you go to Kickstarter.com, you can search for us there. But if you just go to our website, it'll automatically link you there.
Right on. And so I also know that you're very active in the community. I know you've done a lot of work within the community as well. Why don't you talk a little bit about yourselves and what do you do besides be a part of the Misa Negra individually?
All I do is La Misa Negra. That's all I do. All I do. It's a full-time, non-paying job. But yeah, we do try to get involved with like community events and stuff, different causes. Last night we just played a show with Rupa and the April Fishes in San Francisco, and that was a fundraiser for a clinic that she works for. She's a physician, and she works for a clinic that offers free health services to undocumented people. And so that was a fundraiser for that clinic, and yeah, we've gotten involved with like other types of community events and stuff. And so it's the cumbia is it's music for the people. You know what I'm saying? It's always like historically, whether in Mexico, Peru, Colombia, Ecuador, whatever, it's always kind of embraced more by like poor people. So there's something about cumbia that has always that people have always connected to, the masses have always connected to. And so we're it just goes hand in hand with. I think you got to be that kind of person to want to play that kind of music, and so you know, like Diana and Sadai, both of the singers, they're both school teachers, and so they work with children. That's their day job and stuff, and so and then other people in the band like both drummers and stuff. They do a lot of workshops with like young kids and stuff. Yeah, so it's I guess a fundamental part of what we do in the Bay Area. I think there's a collective consciousness of trying to like be a part of a community and stuff. So yeah.
And even being an artist, I think is just, to have that sensibility and not just for the music you play, but, to be conscious about what's happening out there with everybody.
Anybody else want to add anything? Word. Well, I know you're being very humble by just coming through KPFA right now as well, and letting us have a little listen of the music you've been putting out and getting ready to put out as well. So I appreciate that too.
Well, thank you for inviting us. It's we haven't been here earlier, not because we don't want to be here. We just wanted to wait till it was like the right time to have something to share with you guys and stuff. You know what I mean?
And I believe you, man. I was just kidding. No, I know most bands, normally they want to take time and create that, foundation for themselves and be able to, have that foundation group as well that holds it down so that it continues to be whatever the art or the name is, right? So, again, thank you for keeping it going and, making it happen because that's what this day comes down to, right?
Right,
It
right.
finally came true.
Yeah, finally.
We're hoping that the folks out there will go out and support your CD and the mix master so that we can actually keep a copy and be able to take it with us, wherever we go at work or stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So again, where is that?
LaMisaNegra.com. LaMisaNegra.com or
Oh.
Kickstarter. You go to Kickstarter, do a search for La Misa Negra or for Cumbia, maybe even, and it'll come up.
Or La Misa Negra on Facebook.
Yeah, La
Or
Misa
just
Negra.
Google it.
Yeah.
La Misa Negra.
Yeah, that's right. If they want to contact you and set up a gig with you, how can they do that?
Same, you can go there or you can email me at cumbia@lamisanegra.com. So, or on Facebook, yeah.
And do you have any events that are coming up, whether this month and a couple months from now? And,
Our next thing in the Bay Area is going to be August 2nd. We're playing at Ashkenaz, and it's going to be a fundraiser for our other singer, Sadai. I'd rather not go into details right now, but she's very sick right now, and so this will be a fundraiser for her to help her with her, doctor bills and everything. And again, she's a teacher, so the next 2-3 months she's not going to be working. So that's August 2nd at Ashkenaz, and that'll be our. We're not playing between now and then, so that'll be our first one. So hopefully everyone can come out and support and dance for a good cause.
And let me ask you real quick, because everybody seems to be. Are you from Oakland?
Yep.
And so, are you from Oakland?
Nah, I'm from Los Angeles. Oh, she's from Colombia, Medellin.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm from Los Angeles.
And we got
I'm from born and raised in San Francisco.
word.
Yeah.
That was El Chino Sonidero.
Sonidero.
So my question is to you: how has music kept you out of trouble, out of whatever situations were oppressing your neighborhoods? How have you used this talent to be able to create some sort of alternative for yourself other than ending up in prison or jail or getting caught up with the wrong crowd?
For me, it was since I was 12, I got into a music program after my father got killed. And I was in a big depression, and and all those teen years, I was trying to just get all that anger out, and I find out that music was the right thing to do. And until now, I think is the best way to be part of in any cultural, like way, either music or, any other cultural thing.
I do music because it's the scariest thing I can think of doing. It's like my brother's super talented and always like, right from the get go he was doing stuff as kids, and me, he's like, oh man, I gotta practice. And part of that is I found practicing outside. Like when I met Marco, practicing out, doing that outside in public is it ends up being a big deal because that is a scary thing. I was like, I'm worried about other people's opinions. What are they going to think? I mean, am I good enough even to just play outside near the freeway? And people are really positive. It's like that sort of changed my feeling about the space of being in Splash Pad Park or anywhere, out by Lake Merritt. It's kind of like this individual occupy thing, right? It's like go there and say, okay, now this place is okay, and I go somewhere else and I practice there, and okay, this place is okay too, So yeah.
Yeah, and then for me, I grew up in LA, and I have a very, very large family with a lot of male cousins, and every single one of them, with the exception of me and another cousin, has gone to either been to prison once or been shot once, or both. The gang life in LA during the 80s and 90s was like, crazy, right? And for me, since I was a kid, I was just into, music, and hip hop is just like the thing that's the only thing I really cared about. I didn't care about the streets at all, you know what I mean? And I was just obsessed with music from the very beginning. And that by itself, and having both parents that really like very strict, you know what I mean? And and the last thing I wanted for me was to end up in a gang and on the streets and stuff, you know what I mean? So music, was really the main thing that kept me out of trouble.
And Marco, you play the guitar, but you also play the accordion too, is that
I
right?
play the accordion also, yeah.
And did you take classes for that, or you just picked it up?
I took one class. I took one lesson. I started the band first, and then I picked up the accordion. That's the one instrument I've never been able to find for the band. Like I never was able to find an accordion player to join the band, and so I felt like I didn't have a choice but to buy one and learn how to play it.
Wow, man.
But I still have a long way to go.
No, it sounds really good though.
Maybe in 10 years I'll be.
So su piña segundo, ¿no?
I wish.
You never know, man. How about yourself over there?
Yeah,
Chino?
I guess the Chino Sunny did. I got into music really during my early years in high school. I think a lot of it for me was having an identity. I wasn't anyone like really popular or whatever with any social status in high school, but playing music was able to help me connect with other people with similar interests, and it helped all of us really just express ourselves without any hesitations or reluctance. And the communities and that we played for, even up to this day, it's just great giving that same energy and letting people kind of express themselves at shows and burn off some steam. I think I don't know. Over the years, I've met a lot of musicians, with the kind of the same story, and it's great to surround yourself with people who love music and keep you out of trouble, but give yourself an identity too. And I think as a group, these are a great, bunch of people that I play with, and very, very passionate about music, very talented, with good hearts, and we always stay out of trouble. And like I always say, this is music that we play for the people, by the people, and it's great to bring it out there. And I think with this album, it's a great solidifying it. It's putting it in something concrete, something for the people. So it's kind of like our service to the people. Give them music, and we want everyone, as many people to take us home with them.
And I got a quick question. How does cumbia play out in your community? Because you call yourself Chino.
That was a nickname, I guess.
I gave it to him.
These guys gave it to me. My background comes a lot with soul and funk, a little bit of jazz, and so there's it's very soul and funk kind of. They have the same roots. It's like music, for the people, by the people. widely heard around the the neighborhoods, things on the streets, things like that. So, but as far as cumbia, I mean it's been a great ride, and it's what were you gonna say?
We want a gig in China.
Yeah, yeah.
And Japan.
And
Yeah,
Japan.
yeah, yeah.
But you listened to cumbia when you were younger too, or did you just pick it up?
I no, I didn't listen to much of it. The Latin music that that was exposed to mostly was like salsa, Latin jazz, a little bit of bossa. But cumbia is very. So when I first was getting into it, it's like a very underground kind of feel type of music. So, but you're right. Like you were saying earlier, it's something that the people want, and it's very. I mean, it just explodes once it's out there, and it's growing, and there's a real need for it. So it's a good time to be listening to cumbia, and especially playing cumbia for sure.
That's right, and I think it's really beautiful when we see the next generation enjoying old school songs, but they don't really know that's the old school song that our parents used to listen to.
Right,
That's
right. People are, I think, in the past decade or maybe less or so, people are discovering cumbia, kind of the way that they discovered salsa, 2, 3 decades ago. I feel like it's kind of the new salsa in a way. There's DJs, there's not like a big scene, but in San Francisco and LA, there's a scene at least. 10 years ago there really wasn't much of a scene, and so now you got like weekly events, monthly events where it's all about cumbia and stuff. And so people are, and the audiences that come, to those events or to our shows are like of all colors, all languages,
All ages too.
all
Like young
ages,
people
too.
in this-
There's
in this-
something really accessible about cumbia. Like everybody can dance to cumbia. You got salsa, and that's trickier to dance. There's this sort of standard, and you have to be good at it, or at least you feel like, oh, I want to be good at it, and if I'm not good at it, I'm not going to do it. But with cumbia, everybody's up there. We played it with the Oakland thing,
Art and Soul Festival last
Art
year.
and Soul, and that was all people who never saw us or heard us. They were just walking by, and they got pulled into it and started dancing. Yeah, that was a good gig.
Yeah,
That was one of I just want to say that was one of the greatest shows I've ever played, like top 3 shows, and we played tons of shows, but that was I'll never forget that show. That was a lot of fun.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Right on,
Thank you,
right on.
Art and Soul. Hopefully we'll have us back next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, any last words, thoughts, or comments for the next generation, for the youth out there who are maybe getting frustrated of playing the same instrument or the same tune again over and over? Like, what do you want to say to them? Like,
Listen to old music.
Yeah.
Listen to old music. Listen to every music. Be open minded. I mean, for like 15 years at least, I was just focused on pursuing hip hop and heavy metal. That's like all I cared about. And I mean, I listened to other types of music, but that's all I cared about. It never worked out for me. And in the past year and a half, like, it's just been a blessing. Things have gone, I'm not going to say easy. I mean, there's still, everything is hard, but the reaction and the acceptance that we've gotten from people has been amazing. So it's been really rewarding for all of us who have been making other types of music for a very long time. Everybody in this band has done music for a long time. Different types of, not cumbia, and not necessarily Latin music, And so, for us to now be in a project that brings like a diverse group of people together from different musical backgrounds, and for it to be within a year and a half to be kind of, steamrolling, like kind of how we've been, it's been a blessing. And it's like, it's the best band I could ask to be in. It's really like a blessing to be in this band and to be playing with these guys, and we're just having a blast.
Yeah, the best thing is when you finish the show and then everybody's smiling, everybody's happy. And, no matter what happened back home, at the show, everybody's happy. And that's our best reward for what we're doing.
right on. Any last words, thoughts, or comments for the youth out there?
Yeah, like I meet a lot of people, and they see me playing the clarinet, and they say, "Oh yeah, I used to play that like 20 years ago, or 15 years ago, or when I was in high school." And I said, "Oh yeah, how can you stop?" And that's the thing. I'd say my words to anybody playing: keep on doing it. because you're just going to get better at it. And for clarinet in particular, like it seemed kind of like a nerdy instrument, right? So I had to wait for a while before I said, "Oh, Cumbia, that stuff's really cool." Okay, I was really glad that I played the clarinet. Picked it up again because I'd been playing a lot of sax, and then said, "No, this calls for a clarinet," and I was really happy with it. So yeah, keep working at it.
Actually, I used to think the accordion was nerdy too, until right before I started
See,
the band.
yeah.
Until actually I had already started the band, and I still thought it was. Yeah.
That.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. I don't listen to like norteño music, so I've never really been down with that. But I love cumbia, right? But I actually got to give it up to Juan Carlos from Toqueson, because he played accordion in that band, and I hung out with him one night when I had first started the band, and we jammed on the street, and I think, I don't know, the following week I already had my accordion. You know what I mean? So it was like the first time I really like was in like I don't know like in the vicinity of an accordion player, and I really paid attention and I like what he was doing. I'm like, wow, like, and he had only been playing I think a couple of years at the time, and I'm like, wow, like, maybe within a year I can be somewhere decent enough to like play on stage or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, give shout out to JC for inspiring me to go buy an accordion. Yeah.
You did it, and he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as far as stuff for the kids, just like me, music was a good way to kind of express myself. I say for other kids wanting to play music, surround yourself with good people who love music and want to be artistic and create music that you're happy with, and share it with as many people as you can, and you'll reap the rewards. I promise you.
Right on. And before we go to listen to the new tracks that you have been working so hard, Marco, tell us, once again, where can people help you and support you and get this dream come true, man?
Again, go to lamisanegra.com. That'll, right now, for the next 24 days, it will immediately take you to the Kickstarter page. And so on our Kickstarter page, we have a video, we have like a write-up. So if you've never heard of us, you can find out more about us. And then you can also go to Facebook, search for us there. You can also go to youtube.com/lamisanegra. And we have a bunch of videos up there from like the past year and a half. So you can kind of see the evolution of the band. And now you can email us if you have any questions. You want to book us for your wedding, for your quinceañera, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, or for whatever, in the community events, or just to say, hey, how you guys doing? You can just hit us up at lamisanegra.com.
That's it, lamisanegra.com?
Yeah.
And then the email's there.
And the email's there. Yeah.
What's the email real quick?
Cumbia@lamisanegra.com. Cumbia@lamisanegra.com.
Cool, and that's Cumbia.
Yeah, it's the UMBIA.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
Not
once again,
Cumbia.
And what?
Not Kumbaya.
Right, yeah.
so once again, we want to say thank you for being here with us. La Misa Negra in the house. Right now, we're gonna go listen to some of their music, some tracks, and we'll be right back after this quick music break.